Hey, what time is it? It's tool time. I'm Rob. This is Venturi Fab. And on Tuesdays, we talk about tools. Tools that I use and I find incredibly useful, and I think will help you in your journey of fabrication in the world of building things. So today, we are going to talk about thread gauges. What are thread gauges, you ask? Well, first, let me ask you a question. You ever lost a bolt? Or have you ever taken something apart and you need to replace the bolts on it, but you got no clue what the thread on those bolts is? That is what thread gauges are for. So there's two main styles of these. There's the style that's like a big board and has a bunch of fixed threaded inserts and threaded outserts on it, and you can bring your hardware to the board and try to screw it onto the board, but that's super limiting, right? Like if you need to check the threads like on your vehicle, you're kind of out of luck. So what these ones are, a little influencer, what these ones are is a mobile version of that. So this is a 60-piece set. 60? Yep, 60-piece set. The reds are metric, the blues are standard. And what you can do is take your bolt. Hey, I pulled this out of my truck. I don't know what this thread pitch is. And you can test it on these until you find the one that's right. Like it'll thread into that, but that's too loose. So clearly it's not that one. We'll go this guy because this is a coarse thread. And what do you know? They're clearly labeled. And they're also labeled on the foam so that you can see what's on there. So now I know this is half 13. Or if you've got a random nut, you can thread it onto there. And the place where these ones really shine is like if you've got like a nut cert or like a captured nut or something on your vehicle and there's no way you're bringing a big board to it, you just bring this little guy with you and screw it right into the fitting that it needs to get screwed into. So there's a lot of different ones of these all over like Amazon and stuff. I picked this one, and this is the one I'm going to link to in the description, and I'll tell you why I picked this one over the ones that are a little bit cheaper. These ones are deeper. So they had better reviews than the rest of them. Most of them are like in the 4 stars. These were in the high 4 stars. But as you can see, like the threads are cut super clean on these. It went just silky smooth into my nut. And then the female portion of the threads, super smooth onto my grade 8 bolt. And the real benefit of these ones, just from looking at the pictures versus all the other ones, and it's also what a lot of people noted in the comments of these, this section, this portion on these is longer. The value of that being, especially if you're trying to get into like a captured nut or something on your frame or in your car, in the sheet metal, wherever, you're going to have, before you even get to the threads that you're trying to check this on, you're going to have, an 1/8 inch or 3/16 or whatever of material of the frame before you can even get to the threads. So if these are too short, you're not going to get enough thread engagement to verify that that is the correct thread. Because I'm sure you guys have come across this before when you try to use, the slightly wrong nut on a bolt. Like say maybe you got a coarse thread metric nut on a coarse thread SAE bolt. A lot of times you can get, half or one thread on before the difference makes up and it won't go on. And this just helps alleviate that. So the other thing I really like about this, like I said, this is a 60-piece. They make them smaller. They make them a lot bigger. The bigger ones really, like where it adds all these extra sizes, are a whole bunch of sizes that I've never used. I think this kind of middle grade 60-piece set is pretty money. It's going to cover everything you need there, and you've got all the coarse threads and the fine threads of all your major ones, right? You've got 5/8 18 and 5/8 11, 9/16 18 and 9/16 12, right? And then the same for your metric bolts if you're working on newer cars. You know what I mean? You've got M8, but you've got it in 1.0, 1.25, and 1.5, so on and so forth, all the way through. It doesn't appear that it skips any sizes. So it's going to get you really well sorted and cover your whole thing. And the best part about this, instead of being some big giant board that's mounted to your wall, it clips down into a nice little convenient purse, or a man purse, if you will. A satchel, a carry case. So it's ultra convenient. So, highly recommend these. I'm a big fan of this set. So remember, if you don't get started figuring out exactly which bolts you need, you're never going to get finished.